And welcome to John Gibson's Talking Real Estate, your co-host Mark Warren and Gibbo, our special guest, one of the toughest front rowers in rugby league through the 80s into the early 90s. He started with Balmain, the Tigers, in 82. He played 185 top grade games for the Tigers between 82 and 1992. Then to England and a stint with Warrington. Overall, 287 first-class games in what was both a glamorous but brutal era. A New South Wales enforcer, ran hard, tackled hard, sounds a bit like Mr. Jack Gibson. Silky hands, perhaps akin to the greatest, Arthur Beetson. A giant of a man, he was fearless, aggressive. That's a gross understatement. A major part of that Balmain side in 89, arguably the best grand final on record. The Tigers lose to a champion Canberra outfit in extra time, and we'll touch on that. Here's the tale of the tape. 17 origins for the Blues, 84 through 91. 20 tests for his beloved green and gold of Australia, touring Great Britain in 86 and 1990. Dally M Prop of the Year, 84, 86, 89. NRL Team of the 80s. Inducted into the NRL Hall of Fame in 2008. Inducted into the New South Wales Rugby League Hall of Fame in 2024. I was there that evening, very special. Named in Australia's top 100 rugby league players of the century. And the coach was Jack Gibson. Now, it's fair to say, a multimedia megastar, 9 2UE, 2GB. I'm tempted to say 1 year there at 2KY as well. And now a leading talent with Fox Sports and reads the game so well. I love it when he talks footy. Most notably, though, a family man, father, granddad, and above all, the husband of the legend, Mrs. Cathy Roach. And with that, it's welcome, Stephen Blocker Roach.
Mark, I've never been introduced like that. Have we got any more time for the show? My God, that was magnificent.
Roach goes into the line, comes out the other side, open pastures, fullback the beat, draws the fullback and sends Wayne Junior Pierce under the sticks. Oh, that's vintage Stephen Roach.
Oh, look at that, mate. The hairs on the arms are coming
mate.
up. Hey, good to see you too,
Good
mate.
to see you, mate. Long time no see.
Good
Trim,
man,
taut,
Johnny.
terrific,
Well,
big fella.
doing our best, mate. You know what I mean? You got to, mate.
You're doing something, mate. What's your morning? What's your morning ritual?
I'll
What do
tell
do?
you what it is, mate. I'll give the drink away.
Yeah.
You know that?
Altogether.
I don't drink anymore.
Good on you.
Mind you,
Yeah.
I had a good go at it. But, I just, sort of, one day I was having a couple of Kempton Dooners, and I said, you know what?
I'm done.
Yeah, this
You feel better for it?
unreal, mate. Unreal.
You feel like
Mate,
you've
you wouldn't
in the
believe I'm
mornings
nearly
you're
70,
pretty-
wouldn't you?
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm 64 next birthday. So
Are you?
Yeah, in April. So time is getting on, but great to be here with you boys. I wish they could have taped what we were talking about before the show.
No.
Because
No, that's the uncut version after.
That was beautiful stuff.
That's Married at First Sight, unedited.
We'll go over a bit of that.
Well, I learn about more things about life in that 20 minutes before the show than I've learnt in a long
Nothing
time.
like
you,
a bit of reminiscing,
you,
mate.
you guys are geniuses.
No.
Hey, Block. Like I do, let's get this thing rolling. What I like to do at the start of every podcast when I have a guest on, I like to come bearing gifts, and I have today. So I've written you out a cheque for $5 million. So what I want you to do...
I can't possibly take that. No,
It's yours,
I can't. Please,
That's
mate.
it. Take the check
$5
as a
million.
catch.
Okay, $5 million. Now,
Yep.
what would I do with $5 million?
Now,
Is that what you're going to ask me?
Now, you've got to buy property. Now, you can buy whatever you like. You can buy some property for your kids. Tell me what you're going to do with the $5 million.
With $5 million?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'd do? I'd split it up between me three boys and give it to them.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do straight
Yeah.
away. But
But
I would insist that they buy a property with the, borrow the rest of the money or whatever.
Yeah.
So how much does that work out? There's three boys. I'm not great at math. What would that be?
1, 3, 3,
One-
3.
Well, mate, see, that's why you get the
Well,
big
4,
bucks.
2.
Say 1.3 or
1, 2,
1.4. I'd
yeah.
give it straight to them and say, but boys,
caveat,
you've got to buy a joint.
Yeah.
So do your best.
are there some areas that interest you in so far
Well,
as...
mate, I'll tell you
Where would you insist that? Where are the areas you don't want them to buy?
Well, I want them to buy close to me.
yeah.
So I'm around the right area, mate. We're just just humble humble people, mate, that sort of come from nothing. All we wanted to ever do was, Kath and I, when I was playing footy, was to own at least a unit.
Yeah.
And once we did that, well, we went on from there. But I'd like them to be close to me. I've got
grandkids.
I've got 4 granddaughters. Can you believe it, mate? Like in 6 generations of my family, there was 1 girl. Now we've got 4.
Wonderful.
But I love them, mate. I love them to
Karma.
death. I love them to death.
Yeah.
But I would like to have a grandson.
Oh, dear.
So I could have someone to wrestle with.
Yeah.
You can't really wrestle with girls. They're playing dolls and doing all that stuff. I love them to death, but I'll give them whatever they want. The greatest thing now is, and I'm lucky enough to have a pool at my house and ride. And my granddaughters here, Isla and Blair, as they run into my house, you can see them pearling off all the clothes to get into the pool every day in the summer. So, mate, the sound of laughter, of kids' laughter in pools and that, is the greatest thing ever.
It's good noise.
It's a great noise, So, mate, I mate, as I said, love them to death, but I'd like a little tiger. No, so I could
hang in there, big fella.
Hang in there, mate. Aiden might deliver.
Yes,
You got some talented sons.
Tell me this: life growing up, where was that?
Mate,
How was it growing up as a kid?
No, it was unreal, mate. We virtually battled like everyone else, mate. We lived in a suburb in Wollongong called Mount St Thomas. We lived in an old fibro house, 2-bedroom. I had 2 brothers, so we were all in one room. We didn't know the difference, mate. It was unreal.
Yeah.
The bunk beds and another one single. You didn't need any more than that. I suppose that, we're probably, in life spoiled a little bit now. You wouldn't know the difference.
Where was your schooling?
I went to Mount St Thomas Primary School, and then I went to Fig Tree High, which was probably the best 20 years of my life.
Fig Tree High.
Fig Tree High, yeah. So I went to Fig Tree. Played footy at the Western Suburbs Red Devils. Mate, would you believe, I think there's about 14 internationals come from that Wollongong club, the Red Devils. So, played there. Obviously, all the people in Wollongong are jealous of the Red Devils. They call them the Red Scum because we had
I spent a celebrated 6 weeks or 8 weeks with Win TV. Different story, but yes, I understood how powerful they are.
Yeah, magnificent club. Great grounding for all of us. We started, me and my brothers and I started there at under 7s and played there till under 18s. And
when did you start getting a bit of recognition when you were younger?
Mate, I'm glad you asked that. When I was a 14-year-old kid, they used to have the Coca-Cola Knockout. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember it.
And the Coca-Cola Knockout was every premiership winning team from Sydney and all the country.
First division.
That's right.
Correct.
So every winning team would play in the Coca-Cola Knockout on a long weekend. And mate, this will shine bright for you, I reckon. We ended up beating a Sutherland side, so we had an Illawarra side. I think 6 of our blokes from the under 14s played first grade footy in the big league in the NRL.
Yeah.
So we played a Sutherland team in the final and beat them 1-0. Phil Pratt, I'll never forget it, was our 1-0. Phil Pratt, under 14s. Phil Pratt was our
A-League hadn't been invented.
No, that's right. Was our 5'8", great mate of mine, and mate, unfortunately we don't catch up as we should. Yeah. With all those guys, and mate, he kicked the field goal, and our trip was under 14s. We got these beautiful jackets, saying that we were the best team in the state and all that sort of stuff. And we got a trip to Coolangatta. Would you believe? Can you believe? Like we couldn't.
Greenmount Resort.
We're going to Coolangatta, like.
That was OS, wasn't it?
But we were only 14 at the time, so we couldn't get on the pen and ink and all that. But we had a great time.
I think my trip was to Bribie Island, and that was big back then. I remember about 15.
I haven't been to Bribie, but I think Blocker and I called some football with Blocker.
We did Bribie schoolboys. Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you something, Stephen. He called the last ever Commonwealth Bank Cup final. In short, Gregory's decimated a good team from Wavell State High, but it was the curtain raiser to first grade, and Tina Turner's at the ground, and there was an all in, and Blocker was in the tunnel, and one bloke ran from the tunnel at Allianz to the other side of the field. In short, they even panned the presentation. I felt really sorry for the Gregs teams, but it was the last ever Commonwealth Bank Cup final.
Yeah, I know. We called a lot of footy, and as with your dad, the greatest caller of all time, mate. In Rabs, we miss him, mate, on the telly and doing the footy. But that's, sometimes you say things in the commentary and all that sort of stuff. And, mate, blokes were bloody falling off their chairs laughing this day. Then there was a bloke named Manure that played for, I forget what team it was. And anyway, he ran the ball back and ran through a few blokes, and I was just starting the commentary and all that sort of stuff, only doing the schoolboys and that, which was great learning ground for everyone to do the commentary. And they said, "What do you think of this bloke?" And I said, "I'm wrapped in manure." I didn't. You didn't think it just I'm wrapped in manure. But mate, getting back, mate, I can't believe how lucky I've been, mate. I'll tell you the honest truth,
Well, I want to get back to like those humble beginnings with your parents. Did your parents own their place?
No.
Or they rented the place?
No, we just rented all our lives, My old man was a hard working bloke, a little bit in the mines, a bit at a glass company, driving rollers and all that sort of stuff, Yeah. We were just knockabout family, mate,
And what about your big personality? Did that sort of come out later?
I don't know.
Or were you sort of like when you were coming through the system growing up, playing footy, were you sort of...
Well,
did you give a bit of lip back then?
Well, I give as good as I took. I learnt only later on in life some great lessons in life. You know what I mean? I remember my coach from under 7s to under 18s was a bloke named Ray King. Now Ray King, you'll probably know, is one of the greatest greyhound trainers of all time from Wollongong. You ever heard of him?
Dad would.
Ray.
Know.
Anyway, Ray and Ruth King. Anyway, Ray was my coach, and when I first got the opportunity to go to the Tigers, when Cathy Barnes come down.
We got the likes of Big Stephen Roach.
Yes, I'd like to see you laser chip over the top a little bit more, mate. What a great man. I miss him dearly, mate. He was like a father figure to me, Keith. He was unbelievable. The reasons, we had that great Tiger side. No one ever left because of Keith. He was the glue that stuck us all together. A champion fella, but I remember Ray King. He had a can of beer and a cigarette, and he said, 2 things that ruin footy players' careers is this and this.
Yeah.
So, I didn't realise at the time, but later on I jerried what he was trying to say to me,
Yeah.
And when I left Wollongong to come to the Tigers, I had this burning ambition. I didn't want to be one of those blokes that got the opportunity to go and play, but then didn't make it and then go back, and have people go, I told you you couldn't do it, because I'd seen it all the time. Blokes who try and go to Sydney, not make it, come back, and everyone go, I told you.
Just getting back to that, when did you get the call to go up to Sydney?
I was on 17. I played in the...
So who makes the call?
Well, there was a bloke named Noel Yeomans who coached Keith Barnes and all those sort of guys. Anyway, I was great mates with his stepson, Mark David. And they come to me one day. I was playing under 18s in the country team, but I was only 17. I was a year younger. And Noel, who'd been like a father figure to me all my life too, and he's not with us anymore, God rest his soul. And he came and said, mate, I'm great mates with Keith Barnes. I've been telling him about you. Would you like to go to Sydney? Anyway, they come and knocked on my door one day. It was Keith Barnes, and I'm like, what? Because you remember the ABC match of the day? They had one game. We'd play knee footy in the hallway with my brothers bashing each other and
How
watching.
hard was that? Knees in the shag
mate,
pile.
Hardest games ever. But mate, watching Beetson and Fulton and Langlands and mate, they were like superheroes to us. Anyway, just a young kid and 17 or something like that, and Noel and Keith knocked on my door and they come in and said, mate, would you like to come to the lakes of Balmain? And I said, what? Let's go. Had bags packed, let's go. So back in those days...
So who did you stay with?
Mate,
Did they put you in sort of rental?
I got billed with a family called the Robinsons, who were great people, mate. John and Jan Robinson, and I played footy with their sons, and mate, it's a long story, but mate, those people were unbelievable to me.
Was that in the Balmain area?
Yeah, you had to play 2 years in the juniors before you could get graded back in those days. Right. So I played 2 years with Balmain Police Boys, and I lived with them, and they boarded me for a couple of years, and then I played a couple of years in the juniors, coming to grade with the Tigers, and then I played 15 games in reserve grade, and then mate cracked it into cracked it into first grade.
I think I'm looking at Gibbo's notes here,
Yeah.
questions, and I think you've covered your first coach and your mentor. I think we've covered that.
I had a lot of mentors,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah. 1989 was a massive year, but I think, John, you're going to ask about pulling on the Balmain jersey and what it meant to Blocker. I see here in the notes.
Well, putting on the Balmain jersey, then following up with a New South Wales jersey, then following up with an Australian jersey, there was some big milestones there.
Big ones. Oh, yeah, mate. You know,
Did each level change you?
I did. Of course, mate. There's always in every human like a bit of self-doubt. You know, I made my origin debut against Queensland in Queensland, but you know what? My one of my heroes when I was growing up, Arthur Beetson was my favourite player of all time, and I loved Craig Young and Royce Ayleaf, and they were all from Wollongong. Royce Ayleaf, Craig Young.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, mate, I'm following. They've led the pathway. I'm following their pathway.
Yeah.
So I get picked for New South Wales to play against Queensland in Queensland. And, mate, even the ball boys got bashed back in those days. I'm telling you, it was 5 metre rule. Mate, brutal. Anyway, the big thing with me was, you know, as I said, you know, Craig Young and that were my blokes that I looked up to. I got to play on the front row with Craig. So I virtually wasn't worried about playing against Queensland, although it was, mate, a daunting thing, but I wanted my hero to think that I was all right to play with him.
Yeah.
Do you understand
Press
what I mean?
him, yeah.
And right, mate, I didn't really worry about Queensland, but you get this opportunity and, mate, self-doubt. You never know until you're thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
And, I was
fair
lucky enough
test.
Fair test, mate. I mean, that deafening noise of, if you're not used to it, the deafening noise and the fireworks and everything in an origin, if you don't understand what you're going to get yourself in for, and especially in the front row, you can't go and tip your toe in the water and go, oh, it's a little bit cold, I'm not going to jump in. Like you got no option playing in this position.
Yeah, you'll get caught out real quick.
And 30 minutes feels like 5?
Well, mate, it goes, you blink and it's over. You're sort of like, but the greatest thing is having like mentors like Craig and all that have been around a long time that just, you know, ease you through it and let you understand what it's all about. And, you know, so, yeah.
I want to ask you, you know, when you play a State of Origin series, it's brutal. And when you go out in the field, that opposition, you know, you don't really have them in high respect in terms of like, you want to take their head off.
Yeah, you respect them, but...
Respect them, but
you
just at that point in time, you want to sort of... They're your arch enemy.
Yeah.
So then you get picked for Australia and all of a sudden half the team's New South Wales, half the team's Queensland. How's that initial sort of meet and greet after that?
It's pretty good because it's...
Because most people will go, we'll put that behind us.
Well, it's a
now
respect
we're playing
thing.
for Australia.
I played a lot of test matches with Greg Dowling, for instance. Him and I warred, whether it was Tigers playing Brisbane or New South Wales playing Queensland, but we had respect for each other, you know. So
you got to be the better man and go, playing for Australia now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Terry Fernley didn't help it one year. We beat Queensland. We beat New Zealand at Lang Park, and the second test because we just got home. We just beat them. Second test, he made 6 changes. He dropped 6 Queenslanders, and we're all like, so because we had to, in those days, we'd play one test there and then travel over to New Zealand to play the next 2 tests. So he dropped all the, mate, could you imagine the team then? All the Queenslanders were filthy, not only ones that got dropped, but the ones that were left in the team.
Hold it right there, because we're going to talk real estate.
Beautiful.
Before we do, this is John Gibson talking real estate with your co-host Mark Warren. We're going to take a quick break for Locate Negotiate. Industry leader John Gibson. On the other side of this, it wouldn't be complete without the year of 1989.
5 mil.
Talking real estate with John Gibson. Proudly brought to you by Locate Negotiate, residential buyer's agent, commercial buyer's agent, commercial tenant representation, sellers or vendor advocacy, consult and research services, aged care assist. John Gibson's Locate Negotiate, smart advice, expert guidance, better property outcomes. And Gibbo, it wouldn't be complete, and you have to bring it up whenever you talk to Stephen. 1989, the Tigers, they take on a champion Canberra outfit, widely regarded, arguably regarded, as the greatest on record. In fact, I remember being a young bloke at the Parramatta Union Club. Just turned, I reckon, 17, 18, but I was there.
Who are you going for?
I'm going for the Tigers.
Yeah.
And I tell you now.
If Mel was sitting there, you're going with Canberra.
We were kids, but we were with all the RSA graders. And to their credit, I won't go into the amount, but it was a lot of money for back then. I might have borrowed it from the James Hardy Credit Union on the Friday afternoon. The bloke I had my bet with paid me out. He paid me out. Such did he think the Tigers were home.
Yeah.
Okay, take over. Heartbreak.
Yeah, heartbreak. Of course, still think about it now, mate. You know, I missed out in '88 because I was suspended, so I went to England and tried and beat that.
Yeah, you tried to beat the
'89,
rap.
we were there again. So, mate, the greatest week of all time, you know, because, you know, as much as playing for Australia and all that sort of stuff is, the pinnacle is to win the grand final, I reckon. You know, you play with these guys, and when you look at, you know, Wayne Pearson, David Brooks, and Kerry Hemsley, and Gary Jack, Ciro,
Benny,
mate, we'd all played for a decade together. So, mate, here's our chance. You know, I remember getting to the end of the game. So Kerry Hemsley replaces me in '88 and plays in the grand final. One of my great mates, best man at my wedding, great mate of mine, tremendous player. Probably didn't get the accolades that he should have, but he was a great player, I'll tell you. Anyway, there was about a minute 30 left on the clock, and the Tigers are winning. I don't know if you remember, Chicka Ferguson scores right on full time to go in extra time. Kerry, with a minute and a half, a lot of people don't know this, goes up to get the magnet of a champagne. He thinks we're home. He's walking down the tunnel, shaking it to open it, and Chicka Ferguson scores to level the score. So, to get them 2 behind, they kick the goal. It's 14-all full time. We're going into extra time.
Warren Ryan's a genius, but the thing that sticks out for me is that emotional turbulence and talking of the eyes that turn into dinner plates, as my father would say, and you get the tap on the shoulder to leave the field, and you were demonstrating in relation to leaving the field. It was an emotional moment. And many of us just could not understand.
Yeah, but mate, you know what? Coaches are coaches, mate. Had we won, no one would have said anything about it. You know what I mean? Had we lost, it was a like an excuse for the Tiger fans to talk about it. He took Ciro off too.
I know.
So 2 international forwards, but obviously the lesson learnt from there is never defend a lead, mate. You know, I think at that stage, you know, I think it was 14-6 or 14-8 at that time. And, you know, he's obviously thought, mate, we'll defend our way the last 20 minutes. We'll defend our way into the... Mate, he's a great player, Kevin Hardwick. A great defender. But, mate, that's life, mate. If that's the worst thing that happened to you in your life, I try and look at all the great things that happened. You know what I mean? But the one thing that we missed out on was winning that premiership. And I mentioned it before with all these guys who we played a decade together. Mate, Benny and I love him, mate. I think he's the greatest Tiger player ever to play.
Reinvented the 9.
I love him, mate. He's unbelievable.
Reinvented the 9.
Him and I played over 250 games together because we played juniors together too. So when we count them up,
I think summing up, you said, I would rather have won the worst grand final than
lost
the best.
Yeah, well, that's been a bit greedy, but mate, I think
we had to mention it.
I think it's a true story, but. You know, when you...
And if the goalpost, if they were just a little lower,
you hit
the crossbar, if it's just a little lower.
Well, it's he's 2 centimetres taller, we win. Right? But have a look at that Canberra side, mate. And I hope I don't miss anyone out, mate. There was a young Glenn Lazarus. Well, mate, Glenn Lazarus behind Arthur Boots, and to my mind is the greatest.
Laurie Daly.
Clyde, Daly, Stewart, Chicka Ferguson, Gary Belcher, Mal Meninga. Mate, come on, man. Mate, when you look at it, apparently on that day, there was 24 either internationals or state of origin players from both teams competing that day. Yeah. So, mate, it was...
just incredible.
As I say...
Who was their coach?
The great grand final. Timmy Sheens.
There you go.
Timmy Sheens was their coach. But our coach, mate, don't worry.
I know.
Our
said
coach
he's
was
a genius.
Genius. I'd never... I thought I knew a little bit about footy until that...
I've heard you be heated about it.
Mate, he's unbelievable.
No,
of course.
No,
of course. But, mate...
In that moment, you're obviously not going to be happy.
He's emotional.
But he's the coach.
Yeah.
Mate, if that's his idea. If he thinks that's going to win us the game, well, mate, he's the coach.
Yeah.
Mate, you live by and die by what you do or what your decisions you make. If that's as I said, if that's the worst thing that happened to you, you've had a pretty good run, you know.
Moving on, that was a big year because then you represented Australia. You went to New Zealand and you toured there in a brutal sort of encounter over 3 tests.
You're on the sideline, weren't you, John?
Well,
As a kid?
the old man was doing commentary
He was.
for night.
He
so,
was. Yeah.
and I got the call up. He goes, "Come over with me, and we'll have a couple of days together,
Yeah, cool.
and you can
Sit
go and
on
watch
the
the test." So
sideline,
I
yeah.
actually, during the commentary when the game was on, I sat on that sideline with Mike Cleary, was the sideline eye back there. So I was up close and personal to the game, and it was. I walked off. Said that was the most brutal encounter.
Yeah. Especially
High
over there.
level. I think it was a game where Wally shoulder
I
charged
thought
Darryl Williams.
Darryl
Williams.
Williams. I thought he killed him.
Yeah, I did too, and I said, mate, that's a good hit. There's 16 more of them.
Oh, you're
Hey?
terrible, Stephen.
I said, you've nearly killed him. I was going to get the shovel
If you
out and dig a
haven't
little
seen
hole.
it, wherever you
Unbelievable.
are, and even if you don't follow rugby league, Google Wally Lewis hits Darryl Williams, but fasten your seatbelt.
Mate, it's amazing you say that, mate. When you have a look at that Kiwi side.
Actually,
Mate,
Kenny, our master creative, I reckon he might throw something then on YouTube.
Mate,
It's
they're,
well worthwhile.
the Tamati brothers,
Yeah.
the Sorensen brothers, Mark Graham. Mark Graham was Sonny Bill before Sonny Bill.
Exactly.
Mark Graham
Same
was
physique, everything.
Mate, he was I reckon he's bigger than Sonny Bill.
Yeah,
there.
he is.
Mate,
He
he was
was.
an unbelievable player.
Yeah, great
The
athlete.
Sorensens, mate.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Curtin
it was
Dane.
Curtin Dane. And then you had, they had Olsen Filipana.
Yeah.
And Rapati. Remember Rapati, the centre? Mate, they had a...
With no disrespect
That'd be great side.
with no disrespect to Mr. Philip Olsen, he could be, how do I say it,
Horrible.
laid back in club football.
I'll tell you what.
Put a black jersey on him.
I'll tell you something. I seen him destroy Wally Lewis one day in a test match. Destroyed him.
Yeah.
Mate, in the wet, boggy Carlaw
Yeah.
Park. Mate, unbelievable. But, getting back to those Australian sides, mate, I was lucky enough to play in a lot of them. Mate, the back line was Sterling, Lewis,
Yeah.
Miles, Kenny,
Yeah. It was,
Growth most of the time. Mate, I used to stand on halfway and clap. I was like a fan. Mate, honestly.
Cheerleader.
No, we played the Poms one day, and Gene Miles had scored 2 and set up 2. And the Poms, I think there's 50-odd thousand there this day. Mate, it was unbelievable. Australia were leading 26-0 half time. I hadn't crossed the halfway line. And the Poms are singing, if you want your money back, clap your hands. If you want your money back, clap your hands. But those guys, well, mate, unbelievable. Wally Lewis, in my way of thinking and what I've seen, he's the greatest player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He could make the game go fast. He could slow it down.
Yeah.
He could con the referee. If a try needed to be scored, he'd score it.
Rabs will say the same because he dominated the best of the best for 10 years.
Unbelievable.
But he was one of the first guys
Big man,
who sort of passed it like a basketball.
Yeah.
You
Are you talking about Gene?
Yeah, Gene.
Oh, mate, Gene.
He was kind of the first guy.
He
He
was
kind of started
unreal,
doing
yeah.
that.
We're talking about Wally being the best of the best.
But Martin O'Fire, I've seen an interview of Martin O'Fire, scored something like 45 tries for Wigan when Gene Miles was there, and they gave him the award most tries and blah, 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 blah. And they said to him, Martin, this is an unbelievable record. He said, you've scored 45 tries in the season, blah, blah, blah. And he said, have you seen who gets me the ball? It was Gene Miles.
Wow.
Gene Miles on that side, just flicking,
Yeah.
as you said.
Yeah.
Had that-
Often left
He was
out
the
of
first guy to sort of do that.
He was
often
unreal.
left out of the conversation.
Well,
Gibbo,
he is, but he shouldn't be.
I
What a
agree
player.
entirely.
And Brett Kenny's the same.
I
Brett
agree
Kenny should be
entirely.
an immortal.
Wow.
I agree.
Brett Kenny should be a model.
I'd put him up there as.
I think I'm
he's
with
gotta
you.
be.
Unbelievable.
Gibbo, we talk real estate.
I know. We're going
So-
to get to that.
Are we going to
I
get
got
to
one
that?
more
How
question.
long you got for
I
me?
know.
here?
Oh, no, I'm fine talking footy. I can see
I
me
just got one-
saying, can we get back to some real estate here?
I recall after one of the test matches there, Wally Lewis bungee jumped off the grandstand.
You're right. You're right.
You can Google that anywhere, never comes
Yeah,
up. And
no,
I
you're
go,
right.
I was there watching
you're
that,
right.
and I go,
After a
was
test
I-
match.
Yeah.
That's right. You're 100% right. He did. And
Had
the
a
blokes
wa-
who
had a-
hated...
after Mount Smart, was
And,
it?
and
or
the blokes who hated Wally said, why don't you put it around your neck?
Oh, dear. Okay.
All right, we're going to move on.
I will stay here because this is indirectly related to John's business. Big games.
I've used John too, by the way.
Good.
We have.
We've worked together and
Ah.
got me a few extra Oxford scholars.
Ah.
I love the guy.
Yes.
Back in the day.
There you go. Buyer's agent. He's
Oh,
the best.
Don't worry, I'll be using
John
him again.
Gibson's
Don't worry.
locate, negotiate.
Yeah, that's it.
Industry leader. He's our man. And staunch, mate.
Oh, I know.
Even though we can argue like brothers.
Rock solid.
Big games. Now, this is coming back indirectly to business. How do you handle pressure? And I'll leave it there. How do you handle it when you're in your office, in your rugby league office? I'll come to the media in a moment.
What do you mean? What?
How do you handle pressure on the big stage?
You know, it's probably people probably won't understand this or believe it the way that I played and all that sort of stuff. It made sure I was prepared.
Yeah.
Made sure
fail to prepare to fail.
Well, made sure that I'd done the things during the week that would. You get used to what makes you play all right, and then trying to follow that. You know what I mean?
And that was your office. So you were prepared.
That's the way it is.
It builds confidence. If you've done the prep, you go in confident.
Exactly.
Go, I've done the work.
Yeah, I've done the work, mate. You know, and Wayne Pearce. You know, just getting back to junior.
Yeah.
Was a great leader for us, mate. Even a leader of men
ahead
now.
of his time.
Well, no, just the way he prepared. Mate, he went away with the '82 Kangaroos and was a superstar, only young. And all us young blokes coming through behind him, going, mate, if he can do it, why can't we? And we sort of copied. Never trained as hard as him, mate. He was unbelievable.
You trained hard though, Block.
Oh, we did, mate. Mate, you don't get anywhere if you don't have a go, mate. Yeah. Like I don't know anyone who's got anything that hasn't worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Mate, you can, all the bluff and bluster and, all the good times and joking and laughing at that, mate. You at some stage you got to work hard.
When you started to get some traction, the money started coming in from footy.
Yeah.
Did your sort of mindset change a bit, whereby you thought, well, I'm going to put some away for a rainy day, or did you have a vision that I need to put this into something?
Glad you said that, because, mate, back in the day, we all had jobs.
Yeah.
We had give-me jobs.
Yeah.
Sales reps and all that.
Yeah.
I never, and I met my beautiful wife, Catherine Bridget, at a very young age, right? So I was 18, she was 19 or something like that, right? She said, I went for the older woman. She's a beautiful, mate, champion. Unbelievable. You know her. You both know her well. Yeah. So we used to work jobs, so I never spent any of my footy money. If I got my footy money, I would just put it straight away. Yeah. And after a few years, we said, all right, we've got enough to buy a deposit to buy a unit. And I'm like, mate, I've never had anything in my whole life, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we've saved enough to buy it. So we bought a unit in Five Dog. But Kath's dad, Mick Walsh, is not with us anymore. Jeez, I keep talking about a lot of people that aren't with us. He was an Irishman, mate. He was a most beautiful man. He was looked after me. I've been looked after by a lot of people, mate. Yes. But he was my father-in-law. But he was a great man. And we were there at this auction at Five Dock, and we wanted this unit. It was beautiful, mate. It was our first ever home and all that sort of stuff, and we wanted it bad, but we didn't have enough money to buy it. So he was at the auction and he kept bidding, and he said, "Look, don't worry, this is the place you want. Blah blah blah. I'll kick in." Yeah. So without him, we wouldn't have bought our first place. The first couple of years, mate. The first couple of months and that, we sat on milk crates and all that because we couldn't afford furniture. And then we got give-me's, like hand-me-downs and then slowly but surely, and it's not their fault. You look at young people today; they want everything now. Mm-hmm. Well, they want the new house with the new furniture and the pool and that. Mm-hmm. Mate, it's not viable. It doesn't happen like that. So, I think
hard for kids though now.
But yeah, it is. Because, mate, they see everything's new, you know what I mean?
But the banks, they're even harder.
So,
first home buyers.
You're a slave to the banks, mate, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, hey, hello.
Aren't you? Everyone is. So, slowly but surely, mate, I think it teaches you a lot of lessons that you don't realise at the time is to, save up for things and buy them and, do all that sort of stuff. So, and you get great, I've always got great things and great personal gratitude of buying something new. Even if back in the day, if I got a new pair of footy boots, mate, I had to clean me boots.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I never ever took anything for granted.
Better win score. If you don't score there, you'll
never score. Great man too. So, being appreciative of things. So the first, as you know, a lot of young people now, they want to go straight to the top instead of starting at the bottom. So our first thing was our unit, and then we get to pay that off and almost own it. Now we can buy it.
No, I was getting to that.
Try and buy
I know
a
what
house,
you're going to say.
Yeah.
When you were looking at that unit you were going to buy, were you looking around for a while, or you just come across
we're looking around for a lot.
something within your budget?
Yeah.
Did you do enough homework back then to go, okay, we're going to turn up to this one?
No.
So you went in a bit cold.
No, well, Catherine Bridget, she's a genius. She would have looked at every place. But the thing was for us, it was a bit of an area thing. So around the Balmain area, all the blokes lived around there, and Five Dock and Abbotsford and da-da-da-da-da-da. So we only really looked in our, closeness to trainer like Oval. We wanted to be, 20 minutes away. We didn't want to be any further than that.
Yeah.
Plus all our mates. So getting back, just a little thing though, young people going out for dinner and spending all their money on dinner and all that. What we used to do, as I said, we all played for over a decade together. Every Saturday night, we'd have a different person's house in the team, and we'd all take a plate. So we'd take some pasta and meatball. But mate, it was a great way to build
bonding as well.
Build that bond, not only as teammates but as families, and the girls' mates and all that sort of stuff. So
So looking back on that first unit you bought, was it a good decision?
Fantastic decision, because Jono, that was all I ever wanted to do, mate. Was have the opportunity. It wouldn't have mattered if I stayed in that unit for my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a goal. It was.
Do you remember what you paid for it?
Mate, you know what? I can't remember what I paid for it, but I'll tell you what.
Did you make money?
No.
On it?
Yeah, we would have. But I'll tell you what. I think it was 30 odd years ago. I wish I had it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it would have.
So you sold and then bought in the same market.
Yeah, we sold, and then it was just progression really.
Yeah.
And then we bought a place. We bought a place in Ryde, which wasn't the greatest place, but it was ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needed a lot of work and all that sort of stuff.
Back in those days, I hope this doesn't sound too ignorant. Would Stephen have been in a position perhaps to have equity in that home and use that, keep that, and then use the equity into the home in Ryde?
Oh, possibly. I don't know the
Were people
financial situation.
Were people thinking that way?
No,
I don't think so. I think most people sort of trade in. Look, depending on their situation, financial situation, some people would, and a lot of guys who have made a lot of money out of property are the ones who have retained property. They've bought that one, kept that one, go and buy another one, keep that one, buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it all depends on your life situation and your financial situation, whether you can actually do that. So some people buy a unit, you sell that, then you trade up.
Or your goal too. I don't want to own 20 properties. I want to own one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
another way of thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice Stephen took some equity, kept that, got someone to pay that mortgage, and we'll go up to...
No, I never spoke about that sort of stuff, eh?
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
No, I don't think so.
Did any of the, when I asked this, interviewed a few ex-athletes, was it somebody you sort of talked about in the sheds, I've bought this and who's buying what, or money?
No,
was money ever discussed?
Never. Keith Barnes' famous saying was all the internationals on the same money except Benny, he's the best player.
Yeah.
So Benny, behind the leagues club, he's a bloke that you should get on about property.
Yeah.
Mate,
we'll get Benny. We'd love to have Benny.
Behind the leagues club, he owns all the houses behind the leagues club.
And he knows a lot about business.
So he would never take money, because his father was big in property.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he'd never take money. He would take the money to deposit on a place.
Yeah.
So he's, mate, he's...
Can you just write that name down, John? Mia, can you write the name? Benjamin Elias.
Benny Elias. He
Bouncing Benny Elias.
Benny Elias said, come and try us.
Yes.
But he was... mate,
he'd be fantastic.
Mate, he'd be fantastic.
Not saying that you're
no,
not.
No, mate, he's...
I'm not... Hey,
that bloke's killed it. But, mate, I'll tell you something about... Just quickly getting away from that, about friendship and mateship, right?
Yes.
As I was saying before, him and I played a million games together, blah, 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 and I looked after him and da-da-da-da, superstar. He rings me every week, and says, mate, how you going, bud? Good. You need anything? No. I said, no, actually, I do need something. I need your friendship.
Yeah.
Wow. It takes a long time to grow an old friend.
That's pretty special.
Every week, mate, rings me every week. How you going, bud?
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
You need anything? No.
Wow.
Don't need anything, mate. I'll get my own.
Yeah.
But
wow.
That's
a
lot
lot
of people.
about.
A lot of people. A lot of people a bit jealous about Benny. He's.
I think so.
He's flying, right? But mate, I'll tell you, a bloke with a bigger heart or a more generous bloke.
You've told me before just how tough he was. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But generous.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a generous bloke, isn't it? Ringing you and going, mate, you need it, you know.
Take a great Johnny Lewis saying, he passed on, it takes a long time to grow an old friend.
Yeah, you're talking about a legend, Johnny Lewis.
Well, he loves you.
Oh, I love him.
He loves you.
Love Johnny.
And he just had a little whisper in your ear before you ran on to wherever it was in England to play your test match and said, Stephen, Kath and the kids love you, mate.
Oh, my God.
Imagine what that would do to him. That's all he said.
That's all he said, but he whispered it to me.
He whispered.
Mate, it tugged a little bit at the heart.
So you may as well have lit the fuse. Oh, my God.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, I know.
I want to ask you a question. Another one. So, looking back and where you are today, property, in your opinion, help you get ahead in terms from a financial position?
If I, and mate, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. If I ever talk to any young blokes or whatever, buy property, mate. I don't think you can make, all the, the bells and whistles about buying shit and doing this and, mate, what I've learnt, right, is things seem too good to be true, they generally are.
Yeah.
No, because, everyone comes up with not a scam, but, you can make money.
And you've always been an ideas man, bloke.
Always.
An ideas
None
man.
of them have ever worked, but I've always been an ideas man. No, but you look at, the last 50 years of property, if you look at it that way, you can't lose.
Yeah, for any young, so you're saying for any young kid coming through or anyone.
Put your money in property, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, so
he always talks about the long game.
It's true.
He always talks.
Mate,
John Gibson's locate negotiate.
But it's the same as shares too. You can't buy shares and when they go up, sell them. You got to have the long game.
No, you buy them.
Leave them there for 10 years or whatever. Then you're
buying the gloom, and selling the boom.
But I mate, apart from anything I got in my super and that, which as you guys know, they buy shares and all that. But mate, I think probably if you get the opportunity to have enough money to put down and you can pay the money back what you borrow, that's the go.
Okay, something I do know about. Been around it, so does this man. I've been around it since I could walk, perhaps prior. The media, it's a beast.
It is.
And you see the highs, the lows, you see all types of people, let's say that. Meet all sorts of people. The pressure to perform. Mate, was it a steep learning curve, or I go back to the confidence that Stephen Roach conveys? You seem a confident person. Was the media spotlight, was it different to playing in terms of scrutiny and pressure?
100%. Mate, as I said, I said it before, I've been the luckiest bloke ever. Like I've been doing the media nearly for 30 years now. If someone tapped me on the shoulder now and said, mate, listen, we think we'll wind you up, I'd go, how come it took you this long? I mean, my secret to the media is, in my opinion,
please tell me,
don't do anything that you don't think you can do. So if someone says to me, do the sideline or do the co-commentary, I know I can do that. But someone said to me, if someone says to me, oh, bloke, we want you to host it. I want you to host the show. I go, mate, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
That's not Stephen. No.
So I reckon the big thing is stick to your lane, mate.
Yeah.
Stick to what you're good at. Like I've worked with some great commentators, blokes who, mate, they're a different breed, the commentators. Mate, they are geniuses, mate. I don't think they ever get the accolades that they should. And your old man was the best at it, mate. You were good at it too, right?
Thank you.
No, it's true. But it's a fine.
I still am. It's just a captive audience, myself and the dog on a Friday night.
No, it's a fine. it's a fine line between being good at that. It's the same as anything, mate. People are good at different things.
Yeah.
I personally never get out of the comfort zone. If I don't think, say Fox say to me, oh, I want you to host this bloody whatever, I'll go, mate, it's not. I can't do that. It's not what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
who was your mentor? Who in terms of, doesn't let's be straight up,
in
Professor.
the media?
I got a fair idea.
Yeah, Rabbits. Mate,
your mentor, because you did a lot of radio.
Alan Jones. Alan Jones was unbelievable, mate. For all the things that he's going through now, I look at the great things that he's done for people, and he coaches at the Tigers the last couple of years, and mate, I stumbled across doing Channel 9. He said, mate, Friday night footy, you reckon you could do the sideline? I said, what are you talking about? That's how I started. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, mate, Friday night footy, you're on the sideline. I said, mate, what do I do? He said, I just talk about the weather and bloody two teams playing and, I don't know. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then, I worked with Rabs.
And Hadley.
Oh, mate, Ray Hadley, mate.
I was probably alluding to it.
No. When Johnny Gibbs left 2GB, we were all doing the continuous call team.
Yes.
Now, we did that. I did that for 15 years. It was unreal. And, as much as Ray can alienate people, he was, mate, great to me, right? So what happened was we were sitting in the continuous call team one day and Johnny had gone and Bozo and all that were sitting there and they said, oh, mate, we'll need a co-commentator. Who are we going to get? And Bozo said, use Blogger. I said, mate, I don't know how to do that, So anyway, this is a true story. Ray got some tapes and he come to my place and put the tapes in and talked me through, how to do the commentary and when I'm up, you're up and all that. Mate, can I admit now, mate, I'm an old front rower, mate. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not... Mate, I just
communicator.
I just call what I see, and if I'm wrong, you know what? I was wrong about that. I'm not a commentator. You know what I mean?
But people. But I think you underestimate yourself.
No.
You're a communicator.
No. It's the truth, mate. I don't pretend.
No, that's what makes you a communicator. You're real.
Well, that's what I'm trying to...
that shines through in your commentary, whether you're on Fox or on radio, because people know that you've been in the trenches, you've done that, they respect what you say.
Yeah.
So you can, and they like the way you say it. You say it in your words,
in your speak. Yeah. But mate, but you forget that you're just a knockabout bloke, mate.
How political's the media?
Political? Oh, hugely, mate. Sometimes you don't know where decisions come from. All of a sudden, someone says, "Mate, you're out." Blah blah blah. Well, what's going on there?
Yeah.
But everyone's got their ideas about, and everyone's different who they like and why they like them. And
everyone's
all that
got a different agenda.
Everyone's
haven't they?
different, mate.
So that's the way that.
I seen like Kieran Foran the other day, for instance. We called 2 games last week. Now Kieran Foran's just come out of playing.
Yes.
Assistant coach at Manly. They put him straight in the commentary box last week. Mate, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
Mate, he was brilliant because you know what he did?
Did you tell him not to get too cosy?
No, I said, no. Mate, it doesn't. Mate, I'm at that stage now. No, honestly, mate, I'm at that stage now where, mate, it's been good.
I did. Speaking of Kieran, I did a fair bit of work for him in his early days. With his property stuff and helped out his family and all that.
Great bloke.
Mate, I couldn't.
You
couldn't
see it.
No, very impressive guy.
Oh yeah.
What I saw,
everyone says.
You know what he did?
Everyone.
Some people. He really valued advice.
Yeah.
He was a listener, he was a listener, and he took it on board. And I just got, high accolades for the guy,
That's what Jack said to me one day.
What did he say? Come on.
He said, mate, he'd be able to play this bloke if he could listen, if he had 2 ears.
Hey.
But that was good. Mate, at the end of the day, Jack and I, we clashed a bit because...
Mia is the brains behind this whole podcast, right? So this is also Jack's granddaughter.
But Jack and I ended up great because he taught me a lesson, mate. He taught me a lesson, mate. So you can't be flamboyant because Jack dropped me in an Origin once.
Less is more.
When we played the first Origin, right? And he said, mate, I can't pick you anymore. You give away too many penalties. I said, Jack, they're jumping on their heads and bashing us. I said, mate, I ain't going to cop that. You know what I mean? Jack said, well, mate, you can't be in my team. And at the time, I was
straight up.
Yeah, at the time I was filthy, but at the end of the day, I understood what he was talking about because I used to get.
It runs in the family, sort of stuff.
No, I get so fired up that, mate, if Queensland if they want to bung it on, well, mate, I'm not saying I'll beat them, but mate, I'll accommodate them back.
And then your mate Mark Guy turns up with Jack.
It's funny you should say that because I don't know if you recall back. I think it would have been when you went over and played for Warrington in England.
Yeah.
So you probably won't remember this, but I actually went over there, and I was staying with a good friend of ours, English guy, and the old man said, well, you've got to look up Gavin Miller, go and see Gav. And he goes, while you're there, go and see Blocker. I'll send you his details when you're at Warrington. I stayed for you a night. You probably don't recall
I do remember this.
But at the time I was thinking to myself, aren't you guys kind of feuding at the moment? And I thought...
we were at the time.
But I thought I must be the conduit. So I'm the bloke. He's thrown me in the deep end here.
Yeah.
Go and
that's Dad's
go
way
and,
of...
go and look him up, and he'll look after you and stay with you.
You know why we had a closeness
I know that
and a
feeling.
relationship after that? It was because of Massey. So Massey was
a
from
man.
Wollongong, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
Mass, because I was from the Gong and that, we had that understanding and all that, and But Jack, mate, Jack was doing what he was doing. Like, he was a coach, mate. You know, what do you do? But I was filthy at the time, of course.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
filthy.
you're passionate.
I'm passionate. I want to play, mate. You know,
exactly.
but he's going, mate. I can't let you play because, mate, you're trying to square the ledger all the time.
Something? Were you intimidated by Jack?
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, I was.
I love it.
Mate, I was an only Jack. What about Harry Eaton?
But my
What
father
about Harry
was
Eaton and all that?
scared. My dad was scared of Jack.
Hello?
He loved him.
Mate, I got some stories about Harry Eaton.
I come home sometimes
Les Norton.
and Dad would be there, and Harry would be there, and Albert would be there.
Yeah, Albert's
and people would walk in the house and go,
And Mr. Massey.
And
And
Mr.
Mr.
Be like
Massey.
normal to me. Yeah, and Massey, but it was just like...
I've heard
it was all good
stories.
people.
I've heard
But
stories.
I liked that. I liked that. They ruled.
Yeah.
They ruled the
good.
roost, mate.
Yeah.
Staunch.
No, they ruled the roost.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Well said, without saying too much.
That's true.
Where would you like to go, John?
I want to go.
That was good.
So you've had some big career highlights. Now you got 3 young boys, big boys. God bless Cathy, who had to feed you all.
Yeah.
Mate, 3 chickens in the oven when I get home.
Oh yeah.
On a Sunday, yeah.
3 chooks.
Yeah, I got the parson's nose. That's all I got.
Hey, how
Now-
good's the Parsons
Love
nose?
it. Love it.
This doesn't get talked about enough. And I know the boys, especially
Liam,
You know the boys
Dan.
well, mate.
Liam's a mate, and but AJ, 3-time Olympian.
Unbelievable, mate.
This doesn't get talked about, mate.
No, well, it should.
That's Aiden, yeah?
Aiden.
Yeah.
Very, like,
3-time
out of you've had a lot of proud moments. That'd
Yeah.
have to be right up there, wouldn't
The
it?
best.
What
I
about
remember.
Kath's side so far as sport was
Oh, they're all good. Like,
athletes?
they're all like
Yeah.
golfers and tennis
Yeah.
players and footy
Yeah.
players and all
Yeah.
that, but not sort of to that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
I remember, mate. I haven't told this story much. I'm glad you brought AJ up. The first Olympics that he went to was in London.
Yeah.
And what happens is they go over to Europe as like a touring site. So there's 14 in the thing, but there's only 12 in the village allowed in the village at the Olympics. Right? I didn't know all this. So he's the youngest guy going over there, and he's carrying the caps and blah 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 blah. Anyway, so what they do before they go in the village, they always play. They take 14, so they play 7 aside, scrimmage, and then they play against bloody, Italy and all that in trial games.
Yeah.
So 2 of your best mates that you played with all the time and toured with and all that sort of stuff, that you're in the pool and the coach comes over to the side of the pool and goes, "You're not going to the Olympic Village. You're not going to the Olympic Village." To their mate. That's it. They're gone. Right? So they take the...
Where they going?
They're going home.
Oh.
You haven't made the Olympic. You haven't made the team.
Oh.
So anyway,
Wow.
funny how this works out. So I'm doing commentary at Leichhardt Oval one day, and I come home, and they're away waiting to see if they're in the Olympic team.
Yes.
So I'll come home, and mate, the whole family's in tears. I'm like, shit. My Mrs. Caff says, mate, you better get on the phone to AJ, to Aiden, over there trying to make the Olympic team and all that sort of stuff. Oh, shit, what am I going to say to him? Mate, he's been sent home for sure, but what am I going to say to him anyway? Ring him up. They're over in England before they go into the village. How you going, Age? Yeah, good. That's what he's done. I'm going, what am I going to say to him? How you going over there, mate? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, bad, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, silence. I didn't know what to say to him. I'm thinking he should say. He goes, I made the Olympic team, Dad. And he goes, I gotcha. I gotcha, didn't I? I gotcha. Because I drew him up all
Isn't
my
that
life,
beautiful?
getting him right.
Isn't that beautiful? It was my father's first Olympics and last Olympics as well.
There you go.
London. Liam,
Hey?
a friend of a mate of ours.
Yeah, that's so good.
Liam, a mate of ours, talented rugby league player.
Good kid.
I got the pleasure of doing about a 12-week camp with him in a lead up to a corporate fight night. Without going into it, the man is a natural-born killer with beauty in both hands under the tutelage of our great
Johnny
friend Johnny
Lewis.
Lewis.
Johnny.
And Dan also was rugby and water polo, just on water polo.
Yeah.
Brutal game. Could you have played?
No. Mate, it's rugby league in the
Yeah,
water.
that's what I'm
But you got to
thinking.
tread water. They're not touching the bottom, you know.
I know.
And they kick away, mate. A lot of blokes get broken ribs and
Yeah.
they kick away
Yeah.
from each other.
I've always
Mate,
wondered.
She's
It
a
seems
tough
brutal.
game. Tough game.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Andrew Kerr, you know Andrew.
I know
four-time
Andrew well.
Olympian. Yeah,
Four-time
too.
Olympian, yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
a
know
terrific
Andrew.
guy.
Tough, good bloke.
Yeah,
but
real
all
good
them
guy.
blokes, all those guys, all the old
Fit.
Olympians.
They must be fit.
Super.
Yeah.
Mate, apparently they tested all the sports and the water polo were the
Up
fittest.
there.
They were the fittest, mate.
Wow.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it was nothing to them to get. But I got to pay tribute to Cathy. Like AJ trained 5 o'clock in the morning because they go into public pools, right? So they train 5 in the morning because the pools that open at 9 o'clock, and
That's right. You got to get up early and do
You got to
all
get
that
up early
hard
and
yards,
do it.
do squad and all that.
So they had this Serbian coach. If you were 1 minute past 5 diving in the water, get out.
My goodness.
You're not on time. Get out. You're not.
Preparation.
You're out.
Preparation.
There you go, mate. So, everyone sees them getting in the pool and playing in the Olympics and doing all that. They don't see the 5 in the morning training for a decade
Yeah.
to get there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, immensely proud of all the boys. They're good. They're
Yeah,
good
they're
fellas.
good guys.
boys.
And we'll take a quick break. This is Talking Real Estate with John Gibson, your co-host Mark Warren. John Gibson's locate, negotiate, smart advice, expert guidance, better property outcomes. And this is where we do a little bit of rapid fire. And we call this John Gibson's Rapid Fire. I'm in your hands. Take it away.
Hey, how
Gibbo.
long have I got? Can I get a bit of music for
I'm
the thinking?
exaggerating. I'm exaggerating somewhat.
Okay.
Righto. You've been around a while. You've seen a lot of guys come through the system. Biggest mistake you see athletes make with money?
Buying flash cars.
Yeah.
Mate, a car's a car.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares if you drive around in a, Hyundai or a bloody Merc? Who cares?
Yeah.
No one really takes any notice but yourself. So wasting money on luxury cars.
Well,
I
they'll
reckon it's
do
a
that
waste.
before they buy a property or put their money
That's right.
in a safe place.
Doesn't make
you know?
any sense.
Yeah.
It's a look thing. Oh, mate,
Yeah.
look at me. I'm in a grouse car. Well, I'd rather have.
Well, if you are, make sure it's a Sydney
I'd
City
rather
Toyota
have-
or a Sydney City Lexus.
I'd rather have a couple of properties or an investment
Yeah.
than drive a good car, like a real posh car.
Younger generations, and then back with John, what holds most young people back most today? Is it fear, lifestyle, expectations, or waiting for the perfect time?
I reckon-
Or lack of that strong mentor like you had growing up?
Mentors or a lack of information. Going to the right people. Like, if I'm going to get my hair cut, I don't go to a plumber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
We'll go to the right people.
I love that.
Go to the right people who know what they're doing.
If I want a haircut, I don't go to a plumber.
That's it. It's true, isn't it?
Well, he goes to Guy Me Tech to get his hair
There
cut.
he goes. It looks like the
So now it's he, not even Mark. He goes to tech.
it looks like the council did it. No, it's not bad. It looks good.
That's all right, mate.
Me?
No, it looks good. It's a grouse.
Excuse me.
You've been to Specsavers too, haven't you?
Did you?
He's been to Specsavers.
That should be the major sponsor of the
I haven't got your
You
sort
know,
of
the-
money.
what is it? The replay screen.
Oh dear, these ones.
Specsavers.
Gibbo, you were saying?
What are the best lessons footy's taught you?
Probably discipline, being punctual. I reckon that's one of the big things that leads into a lot of other things in your life. Always being on time. Vince Lombardi,
Yeah.
15 minutes early is
Yeah.
just on time.
Yeah.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a big one. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that procrastinate and say they're going to do something. If I agree to something or I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And don't get out of my lane.
Don't get out of the lane. So you're not saying don't be creative, don't be afraid to have a go, but know your lane.
Have a go. Yeah, have a dig. I mean, mate, I'm the mad scientist, as you know.
I know.
I've got
Ideas,
60
man.
different ideas, but one day I said to Kath,
Something will stick.
something will stick. I said to Kath one day, she said to me, "Well, mate, why can't you just be happy doing what you do?" I don't know. I'm not like that.
Is it ADD?
No, probably. I've got ADHD, A, B, double C,
Well, with your
whatever. I've got it
brother.
all.
And if you use it correctly, it's an advantage.
But I said to her one day down the bottom of our street is a big patch of land. I said, one day I'll pick you up down there with a helicopter. I
God,
Oh,
you're
jeez.
lucky.
said, don't doubt me, mate.
I'm never ruling you out.
Never doubt me, mate.
No doubt.
What do you got?
Yeah, good.
You're
A 5
funny.
million check, I don't know about
The helicopter.
Might
Helicopter.
keep a couple of those
Yeah,
bucks
you might
in the
be able to
back
rent
pocket.
it
I'll tell you
out.
what, I'm going straight to the bank as a Commonwealth. Switchback.
Have it framed at the side. Gibbo gets it back signed and
Oh, right.
do a little.
Cool.
I'm sure he'll do his father.
Well, Jack used to do it. He used to do that with Jack with the dollar checks.
Yes, the dollar
Raise
check.
money for the. We used to raise money for
Sam
all
Miguel?
all sorts of
Yeah.
things.
Is
yeah.
that right?
Oh,
The dollar check?
there was a
Mate, he had a
lot.
check one day for $1 from Muhammad Ali. You know that?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
Dad.
Yeah.
He got all the.
Where
He
is
had
it?
this idea.
I don't know.
He had these
Have
ideas.
you got the Ali check? Is what I'm asking.
No. What he did was
Oh,
he came up with. I think it was that one was a fundraiser.
Then they'd auction them off.
Yeah, it was a fundraiser, maybe for Arthur Beetson, or it might have been for Sam Miguel Life Centre, or it could have been for, I don't know. There was a number of different charities. And you used to put these events on in the city, the hotels and
Yeah.
ballrooms, and then he had this idea. He goes, what if I can get like a cheque from
for $1.
Ali.
for all the Australian cricket captains?
There you go.
So he
Can I ask
he
a
got them. Hang on, let me finish. So he got them to write out a cheque. They all sent him. Then it'd be like, I'll get another frame, and I'll get Kerry Packer to sign our cheque for $1.
There you
I'll
go.
get James Packer to sign a cheque for $1. I'll get Rupert Murdoch sign a cheque for $1, and back then, this is like in the 90s.
Oh,
and,
no,
like,
so you-
sold- and he put them in a frame, put them all up, got the cheque for $1, and then it'd be
The
like.
people auction. He'd
There was,
auction
like,
and get
there
money,
was, those ones were like,
Yeah.
Hollywood movie stars,
Yeah.
checks $1, Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
But it was because it was
Like
because,
it's great- greatest jockeys
Did
of all
you keep
time.
them or someone's got them?
No. He
Because-
auctioned them off, framed them up,
Oh
auctioned
my
off.
goodness,
no,
John!
frame them off because it was Jack. That's why people did
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
If it was Joe Bloggs doing it, you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
no,
you
Can
wouldn't
you
do it.
imagine what it's worth?
My mate bought
Muhammad.
at the auction on that
Oh.
night. Bought the one frame with Kerry Packer, Rupert Murdoch, and he still got it to this day.
And
I got a
yeah.
print of it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
There was prints. There was actually one print.
Can you sign this for us?
Yes, it is starting.
That check's only for $1, mate. I'm talking of dollars. So there's guys, I don't know who had bought these original ones.
Wow.
But there was a printed one of the Kerry Packer one and the Rupert Murdoch one, which he put in a frame. It wasn't the original. My mate's got the original, and that was sold many years ago. This would be 20 years ago, and that was someone took it to another auction, and someone paid 20 grand for it back then.
that'd be right.
And that
Yeah.
was just a print. It wasn't even the original.
Keep going. Now, oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to impede on John's question here and then he's going to help us wrap this up. If you were speaking to a young Stephen Roach, what would you say about footy, media, money and life?
Geez. Firstly, what would I say to myself is, mate, always try and do your best. Like if you got set yourself some goals and try and reach it. Media, be yourself, mate. Don't try and be someone else. You are who you are. And always remind yourself that I'm good enough to do this. I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the last one with money? Buy property, mate.
Yeah.
Well done.
Buy
Now,
property.
John, that last question is very important.
I
too.
do. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Best,
This will be interesting.
Best athlete you played with or against, and who's the next immortal pick?
Wow.
I think potentially or gifted, the greatest rugby league player I've ever seen is Greg Inglis.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever
13
seen,
Greg Inglis has beat anyone.
I
yeah.
don't think I've ever seen anyone like that. Unorthodox too, like weird fend and weird.
It looks like
but,
he's loping like Justin Hodges.
mate,
but
I reckon that guy could have been a 400 metre
Yeah.
champion
Yeah.
runner. Greg, best player I've ever played with is Wally Lewis.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone like him since.
is he the best?
I think
Because he
think.
dominated
And-
Origin
and
for 10
Joey,
years?
I'd throw Joey in there too,
What
but
about Brett Kenny?
if Wally's already immortal, I think Brett Kenny should be an immortal. I don't think that he gets accolade. When you have a look at records, have a look at the record.
His
I think he
record's the
scored
best
two
against
tries
Wally.
he scored two tries in 3 grand finals
Yeah.
and got 2 disallowed in the 4th one.
Yes.
No one's ever... Mate, Brett was unbelievable. I've never seen... I've never seen anyone so casual. Remember, he used to walk out onto the ground and all of a sudden, mate,
Boom.
when that clicked, Mate, he was
Unstoppable.
unbelievable. He was he could have been an
Baseball.
Australian baseball.
Yeah.
He was a naturally. Most of those guys
Came out of the Guildford Owls.
That's it. So most
Hoot,
of those
hoot.
most of those guys, if they're brilliant at one thing, imagine how good they could have been at others if they'd have made that their vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how good they could have been at something else. Brett Kenny, unbelievable, mate. But mate, as I said, when I mentioned that back line before, mate, Sterling and mate, Peter Sterling wasn't fast or strong or anything, but I'll tell you
Smart.
what, mate,
Yeah.
he counted numbers. Like
Yeah.
if it was me, I have to
Yeah.
go, oh, there's
Yeah.
one, there's
Yeah.
four on
I'm
the
going
short
over.
side.
He's-
I can't.
He's playing chess.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
unbelievable. And then blokes like Price. I know I mentioned a lot of Parramatta blokes,
Yeah.
but mate,
Wow.
Ray Price, mate. He cumbled through me at Leichhardt one day. They're still trying to fill the hole in. Hurt? Mate, he rattled every bone in my body. I never see. No, you know.
I know what he used to do.
Mate,
Cross the front leg.
Oh, mate, unbelievable.
Yes.
But mate, what a competitor. What a bloke. And I suppose you're talking to young kids and all that.
Yeah.
One of my big things is what do you want your teammates to say about you when 20 years down the track? What do they say? Oh, mate, what did you think of that bloke? What do you want? I don't know. That's sort of in the back of your mind too when you're playing. What do you want your teammates to say about you?
Yeah, exactly.
But Inglis, a lot of people don't mention Greg Inglis as the greatest. Mate, to me, he's the most gifted player, most gifted I've ever seen.
Hard to argue.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Can't argue it.
And that just about does us for another episode, John. How good was it having this guy?
The big
with us
man.
today? Oh, no, I was
That
with
was
the
a big car.
I was with the big man yesterday.
Oh,
He's a
man,
champion,
that's a big
eh?
man.
What a good man. The
and
big
he's
man.
winning the fight, and he's
Yeah.
doing really well. And I was with him yesterday in the studio,
I
and
love
he's
it. I love
Daryl
it.
Broman. We're talking about
Champion.
I mentioned the show, and Daryl Broman, another big man,
Mate,
might be in here.
he'd be a good bloke to
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
to.
no,
He's
yeah,
done
absolutely.
well.
He's
Yeah.
and he's okay.
He's a
He's
good
going to
man.
be okay.
I don't know. How's he look bald?
Oh, but it was going there anyway. he's
right.
he's in a really
Receding.
good frame. He's in a really good frame of
Love
mind.
him, mate. Champion bloke, Daryl.
All right. There you go. Stephen Blocker Roach.
Thanks, boys.
Love to Cathy and the family. Another one of the Warren family, the Gibson
buddy.
family's great
Good man.
friends.
Pleasure.
On behalf of Mia and John, great to see you, and thanks for the chat.
Merci Baku.
Well said.
I
I agree with that.
Until next time when we do it all again, on behalf of John Gibson, Stephen Roach, I'm Mark Warren. God bless and bye for now.